Yesterday we talked about law of sines, and you gotta have a buddy with it, so now today we're working on law of cosines.
So law of cosines states, an equation used when given a triangle with side, 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 or side, angle, side to find a missing side length or angle measure. And our equation would be a equals the square root of b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times cosine of a.
Now before you start freaking out, all of these formulas, SOHCAHTOA, you will have to know that yourself, but all of these formulas for law of sines, law of cosines, and the area formulas, we will give these to you on a little half sheet of paper when you take your test. So don't worry about having to memorize the formulas. You just have to know how to work with them. And the other reminder, triangles, these are particularly used when you're trying to find information on a non-right triangle. So let's get into this. And here we've got that we need to find side length A. Side length A, ironically, and if we're trying to find side length B, that A will turn into a B, B squared will turn into A squared, B will into 2BC. They all interchange with each other. So it's basically saying whatever side length you're trying to find, you use the other two side lengths and the angle opposite. So this says then that A is going to be equal to the square root of 5 squared plus 7 squared. It doesn't matter which one's B and which one's C because you're squaring them and adding them anyways. Minus 2 times 5 times 7 times the cosine of angle A, which is 45 degrees. Now, yes, you do have to write this out because number one, the number of people that screw up these problems simply because they don't write it down, and also because then if you get your answer wrong, I can figure out from the formula what it is that's your mistake. So now we go and put this into the calculator. I double check to make sure I'm in degree mode. Yep, still there. And we say, all right, second x squared to get that square root. The nice part about the graphing calculators is it will keep you in that square root until you tell you you don't want to be in there. So 5 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 5 times 7 times the cosine of 45 degrees, and we hit enter, and the side length A, it's a lot shorter than yesterday just because you stuff it in the formula and you're done, is 4.95. 4.95 I'm going to just leave as 4.95. You can round to the nearest tenth if you feel the utter need to, but otherwise just leave it as 4.95, otherwise it'll round to 5. Second problem, now we need to find the measure of angle A. Well, angle A is buried, so we need to unbury it. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to get rid of the square root. So we're going to square here, we're going to square here. So now I've got A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times the cosine of angle A. That's a little bit messy, you get the picture. So then I'm working towards getting rid of that, getting down to that angle A. So first I'm going to start by subtracting B squared and C squared. So now I've got A squared minus B squared minus C squared equals negative 2BC times the cosine of A. Well, I need to get rid of that negative 2BC. It's being multiplied by the cosine of A, so I'm going to divide by negative 2BC. And that now says A squared minus B squared minus C squared equal over negative 2BC equals the cosine of A. But then I need to get rid of that cosine, so I'm going to take the inverse cosine. So that tells me that to find the measure of angle A, I'm going to take the inverse cosine of A squared minus B squared minus C squared over negative 2bc. This I will also give you on the test. The one thing you have to just be careful of is that whichever you're using for angle A, that has to match with the opposite side length here. So when we look here, we're trying to find this angle. That means that this one is my A. The other ones don't matter. I'm going to label this B and this C though because they're opposite angles. And then you plop them into the formula. So the measure of angle A equals the inverse cosine of 6 squared minus 3 squared minus 7 squared all over negative 2 times 3 times 7. This should bring you flashbacks on parentheses usage. You can go ahead and calculate the numerator, calculate the denominator, divide them, and then take the cosine, which most of you is probably going to be your better bet. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to take 6 squared minus 3 squared minus 7 squared. And I see that the 3 and the 7 match in the numerator and denominator. So now that's negative 22. And then I take negative 2 times 3 times 7, which is negative.
Oh, looks like
Oh, I took negative 23 times 7. Good catch. Negative 2 times 3 times 7. Thought that was odd. Negative 42. And we need to take the inverse cosine of that. So I'm going to take negative 22 divided by negative 42. And I get positive about a half, but I don't want to round that. So I'm going to take second cosine. And I've taught you guys this trick before. Down here, we got this A and S. So that just means answer. So if I take second negative, it says I want the inverse cosine of the answer I just got. I hit enter. And the measure of angle A is 58.4 degrees. So those are going to be a little more complicated, but we don't have very many that we have to do that way. Now we move on to area formula. This area formula looks a little more complicated, but it really isn't that much more complicated. It just has a special name called Heron's formula.
So Heron's formula states a triangle with a side length A, B, and C has an area, which area would equals the square root of side, parentheses, side, minus A, parentheses, side minus B, parentheses, side minus C, and the square root of that. Where S is 1/2 the perimeter, or S equals 1/2 times A plus B plus C. So it's not really side, it's the perimeter.
Yeah, it's half the perimeter. S just happens to be the letter we use for it. Remember, you could also say A plus B plus C divided by 2 if it so floats your boat. So if we try an example, here we are given this triangle. This works when you have 3 side lengths, and only when you have 3 side lengths. We have to start with S, because without S, we can't do anything. So we say S equals 1/2 the perimeter of 28 plus 33 plus 37. So if we do that, we take 28 plus 33 plus 37, and we get 98 divided by 2. So S is equal to 49. And then we can use that. We say A is equal to the square root of 49 times 49 minus 28 times 49 minus 33 times 49 minus 37. It doesn't matter which one's A, which one's B, and which one's C, as long as you include all of them. So my suggestion would be calculate these individually. So 49 minus 28 gives us 21. So I've got the square root of 49 times 21. And I'll fill in my spots here. Then we take 49 minus 33, which is 16. And then 49 minus 37. Now, yes, I don't need to do these on the calculator, but I am because it'll make life easier. So now I can say square root of 49 times 21 times 16 times 12. And if you've guessed, yes, you're right, it's going to be a big number. Not huge, but big. So then our answer is, to the nearest tenth, 444.5, and we can say units squared since it is the area. It's your turn now. First problem, we want you to find side length Q, or PR. Then we want you to find the area of a triangle with side length 16, 37, and 23. And as always, bring your questions with you to class.